Happy Thursday. Welcome to Couch Talks, our Q&A episode to the Feeling Things podcast. I'm Amy.
And I'm Kat. And before we get started, quick disclaimer that although we are answering your questions, this does not serve as a replacement or a substitute for any actual mental health services.
Nope, we're just reading your emails and then giving some advice. Take it or leave it.
Giving some feedback. Don't even call it advice anymore.
Oh, yeah, no, not even. Just
Can't be doing that.
Just, we're saying words. Take them or leave them. Hear them or don't. Before we get into the Couch Talks email, we do have two other emails that Kat and I are going to get into. She's going to read the first one, which is about, well, what I'm going to be doing, because we got a poem. And when Kat reads her email, that...
We should say trigger warning. We got a...
poem. Well, Kat, you go ahead and read your email, and then I'll read the poem that we got. Poem. Okay. I don't know why I don't know how to say it. I'm trying to be normal. I don't know how to say normal poem.
So
you say it.
Poem. Relax your shoulders.
Poem.
Shake them.
Poem.
Shake your shoulders. Stop saying poem and just shake your body. Now say like, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
A bar.
What's your favorite color?
Don't have one.
Where were you born?
Austin.
What's your middle name?
Elizabeth.
Say poem.
Poem. That worked. I did it.
I'm a hypnotist. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I just
did
said
I
that
say
off
it
the
right?
cuff. Yes.
That felt good.
Oh my gosh.
That felt
I'm
good.
so proud of you and
felt
me.
Good. Okay.
Okay. So you're probably wondering, why did we just do that? Well, I'm about to tell you because I'm going to read. This might be my favorite email I've ever received.
Oh, cool.
And when I saw it, I said, I can't wait to read this to Amy and the rest of everybody else. I asked for permission. She said that we could read it and she would be so excited. And she means all of this with love. And that's, I think, the best part of this email.
Yes. And I saw her reply because I've also already read the email and I saw your interaction with her. And she was like, by the way, I love Amy. It's just, she can't handle the way it sounds in her ears. So she has to like take her headphones off.
And this is how you give feedback in a kind way.
Yeah. And so I'm going to work on it. So every time I need to say the word,
well, they don't even know.
Kat's going to hypnotize me and then I'll say it.
Okay. So here's the email.
Okay.
It says, hi, I am a longtime listener of Bobby Bones and every single podcast that Amy has ever been a part of. I am a huge fan in 1 million different ways. One thing has been getting under my skin a little bit, and it's so trivial and so silly, but I'm wondering if anybody else is hearing this and if maybe I'm incorrect with the pronunciation of the word or if this is something that can be worked on. The word is poem. Again, I know that this is so silly, and it's not like it makes a huge difference. It doesn't change how amazing the content of the show is. But the more and more you all kept talking about the poems, the more Amy is saying the word, and I honestly had to turn the episode off early today because I couldn't take it anymore. She's referring to last week's Couch Talks episode as well.
Yeah.
Or no, it was the last week full Feeling Things episode where we did sky journaling and we read our poems.
Yeah. Anytime we talk about it, I guess.
Yeah. Again, I am from the Midwest, so maybe it's because the way I have always heard it said, but I really feel like she's emphasizing a part of the word that's almost physically hurting my ears. That seems very dramatic, but I can't explain it in any other way. Something about the way that she's saying the word is making it very, very hard to listen to episodes that you discuss poems in at all. Which also makes me think, like, how often are we talking about poems?
There's multiple. And then I know we even talked about them on the Bobby Bone show. So if she's a listener of that, then it could be that.
She said, just wondering if anybody else is noticing this or if it's something I need to work on within myself. Thank you so much. And please continue to make us laugh and cry and feel so many things. Heather. And I love that last part of like, she's saying, let me know if this is something about me. I'll work on that too. Like, oh,
that was
how
kind. Right.
I noticed when you were saying it last week, I didn't say anything because I feel like I've kind of poked at you and I felt like it was getting old and I just wanted to let it go. But it sounds like
listeners would like for you to nip it in the bud. I don't know why I say it the way I do.
Well,
my feelings aren't hurt, by the way. You're looking at me like,
Well,
okay, let me put my kid gloves on. You can talk to me just stick it to me straight. I don't know why I say it the way that I do.
Well, part of the reason I'm like
I also say drawer weird.
Say wash.
Wash?
Oh, some people say wash.
Well, that's a regional, like where you're from thing.
But
like
drawer. Say drawer.
Drawer. Am I saying it right?
Drawer?
No?
Now, am I saying it right? I don't know.
Drawer.
So the reason
Drawer. I don't know. I just know that that's another one that, like, at least on the Bobby Bone show, they'll be like, you say that weird. Crown, drawer, poem.
I say bagel.
You say that's.
And I say Vegas instead of Vegas. Vegas.
That's like the Vegas nerve.
No, it's the Vegas nerve. That's why I say, because Vegas nerve is Vagus. Las Vegas is Vegas.
But it's Vegas.
You also say serum weird. Say serum.
Serum?
No, you usually say serum.
No, I don't. No,
yes,
I don't.
You
no,
do.
I don't say serum.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
I know that you do.
There's no way I say serum. Maybe I have.
You do, because I remember you said it, and we have a friend named Michelle that says serum. And I remember you said it, and I go, "Oh my gosh, you say it like Michelle!" And you said it in a video, and one of my friends texted me and said, "Amy says serum." Like Michelle.
Well, you know what? Serum might be one of the ones that are interchangeable for me, where I say serum sometimes, or serum, sort of like I say pajamas, and sometimes I say pajamas.
Yeah.
Well,
but it's okay. You can. The thing is, the reason that I don't want to be too harsh is because one time, an ex-boyfriend of mine told me that I have a lisp.
You kind of do. Is that bad? I think it's cute.
He said it in a mean way. He was like making fun of me.
Oh.
And then I was like, I have a speech impediment, and nobody ever told me, and I never was able to work on it. But I think there is something weird about the way I talk.
Yeah. Well, sometimes my S's whistle. Like when I'm talking, I get notes about that from listeners that are so annoyed by it, and they have to turn me off. And I'm like, I don't know. That's just how I talk. Like, it's the way my teeth and my tongue is forming a word. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to change that unless
speech therapy.
I just try to really not put emphasis on. I can't let my tongue and my teeth.
I've never noticed that about you.
Oh, I have. Trust me. Over the years, lots of notes about that one. So much so that sometimes I'll be like, can y'all turn my mic down? Because I think if y'all turn my mic down, my S's won't be as loud. But I don't really know. Well,
thanks for the feedback. Amy's going to work on it, and just work on poem. Leave the rest of the words same however you want.
Well, you need to work on bagel.
I need to work on my lisp.
No, what is bagel? No, I like your list. You say
bagel.
Bagel.
I also say pillow weird or pillow. What's pillow? I say pillow.
Okay, you can never get on to me about poem again.
We never talk about pillows on the podcast.
Whatever. Well, I showed up to your house the other day with a bagel, and you would say that I showed up with a
bagel.
Okay, that's so weird. People are turning us off right now with all of our words.
Speaking of poems.
Speaking of, you say it. Speaking of,
you can do it.
Just say it. Speaking of, we got a
poem
from our listener named Karen. So I'm going to read her
poem.
Thank you. Hi, ladies. I sky journaled because I like doing homework, which this is a previous episode homework assignment that we gave out. And Karen is a good student. She said, this is what I came up with. I'm on the other side of 50, so thoughts of mortality randomly pop into my head. So just keep that in mind when I read her
poem. Sounds like I'm a button that you just press.
Okay, I'm starting the
poem.
Thank you. Wispy clouds in the sky, gently, gently rolling by. You shift so slowly, yet I wonder why. The days, the months, the years fly by. When I look up tomorrow, you'll be gone, but new clouds will come along. And when I see them, I will say, I'm grateful for another day. How many more do I have left to watch the clouds float and drift? I don't know my expiration date. I don't know when I'll meet my fate. Until then, I stay tuned to the sky to watch the wispy clouds roll by. And then she said, thanks for keeping us laughing and learning, Karen, which is an interesting way to end a very
are you really laughing?
Somber poem. Like, where's
Sorry,
where's my button? Somber
poem.
Thank you. Which I do find it interesting sometimes, the people that think about death a lot, because I don't ever. Not really. Sometimes I think about cancer and how I'm going to get it, maybe because my parents had it and I hope I don't. But then I'm like, probably will. But then I'm like, don't think that way. That's sort of the thought process that I have. But I don't think about death unless I'm boarding a plane and I'm like, it might go down.
So you do think about it?
But not every day. No. If you told me to go outside and journal in the sky, my thoughts aren't going to be like wondering about my expiration date. And she even said, I mean, Karen said in the beginning that she has thoughts of mortality randomly. And maybe that is with her age. Like, as you get older, you start to think about how fleeting life is. But I do love the line of, when new clouds come along and I see them, I'll say, I'm grateful for another day.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I think about death a healthy amount. I think about it also of the people around me. Like, as I'm getting older, I've also always had this thought that I might have like a early death. It's like a weird thought I've had. But I also think of it more as I get older. I also notice the age of the people that are older than me. And that's when I think about like, oh, like when you're young, you never think your parent. When I'm 15, my mom's going to live forever. But I'm 35. I'm like, oh, we all are going to die. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, so that leads me to our email, which you're going to read, which our Couch Talks email, which is about death.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. It's part of life.
We didn't plan any of this. It's just sort of all tying together.
Yeah.
And the death of a pet, which is also always hard.
Yeah.
Like, Cara is in here with us, my dog, and I'm kind of petting her while we're doing it. And she has these weird bumps on her, which I've been told not to worry about them. But then I'm like, well, she is getting older and dogs don't live forever. And wonder when her expiration date's going to be.
Yeah.
So, Cara, cover your ears.
Yeah.
We're
Don't
about to
listen
read
to
an
this.
email.
This is not for you. This is for our listeners. Okay. You ready?
Ready.
Hi, Amy and Kat. I'm really enjoying your new podcast. Each episode feels like being part of a conversation with friends. I'm writing with a question about dealing with grief. Recently, my 15-year-old dog passed away. I'd had her my entire adult life, and as a single person, she truly was my best friend, my constant. There was some trauma associated with the end of her life, seizures, dealing with a fill-in vet who dismissed us and told me she didn't look ready to die, when hours later I had to make the tough decision to let her go. I'm having trouble turning off my brain. If I'm not doing something, and sometimes even if I am, my mind wanders back to those final hours, reliving seeing her struggling in the pain of saying goodbye. Do you have any tips for redirecting your attention when your mind gets caught in loops like that? I try to recognize what's happening and think of other things, but it's been really hard, especially at night when I'm trying to fall asleep. Any tips that you have would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.
And I know she wanted to remain anonymous, so we're not saying her name. And I'm sitting here with Cara, who is my dog that I got after my dog Josie, who we also had to make the decision to put her down. Mm-hmm. And I remember sitting there with my husband at the time, now my ex-husband, but we went together, and it is one of the hardest things ever. Have you ever had to do it with a pet?
Yeah, but I didn't go.
You didn't go. Were you a kid?
No.
Oh.
I was just an adult, but it was my childhood dog, so it was my
Your parents went.
But actually, my mom couldn't go, and my little brother went, because my brother was like, I'm not letting, his name was Champ, like, I don't want him to die alone, so my little brother went.
Yeah. It is a very difficult situation, and one that, I think is very normal that it's looping in your mind. I will say, hearing that your dog was 15, that is a long life for a dog. I don't know the breed. Must have been a smaller dog, because I think Chihuahuas, or the smaller the dog, the longer they live.
Really?
Like, I think Chihuahuas are the longest living.
But don't like pugs not live very long?
Well, that's because they're inbred and they have breathing issues and all kinds of stuff with their nose. So it's not just so to clarify, you have to be like more of a natural, like you're not inbred, like created. I don't know.
What's the word for that?
I don't know. Like we need a vet on or some animal expert.
That
but
also is.
it says, okay, Shannon says here, it's generally true that smaller dog breeds tend to live longer than larger ones. For example, a Chihuahua or a Yorkshire Terrier. Did I say that right? Yorkshire.
I don't know. I'm
Is
not
there
a
a
dog.
button for that one?
Yorkshire.
Might live 15 to 17 years, while a Great Dane may only live 7 to 10. And I think 10 is generous. Like,
That is so sad. A 7-year-old is like a puppy to me.
well, but even humans, like really tall humans, like the ones that are like 7 feet tall, it's like your heart is having to work extra hard because it's pumping.
They die. Oh, taller people die sooner.
I think I'm talking really tall. Like a Great Dane's like a horse. I was just using as an example, like a giant human, like some of the really tall ones. I do think that they have a shorter life expectancy.
Okay, but that is a bonus for short guys.
Yes, I guess.
Yeah, short kings.
For short kings, yes. Well, and that's not to say anybody who's tall. Like when I say tall, I'm talking about like irregularly tall.
Like not just a basketball
player. Not
player.
saying if your boyfriend's or your husband's 6'7". I don't know that that's an issue. But some people are 7'5".
Yeah.
Like I think that you have to monitor that.
Yeah.
Probably.
The more you know.
This is not a medical podcast. Back to the email and what you're going through, even though we're making light of it because we're also your friends just sitting around some microphones, and hopefully this episode has given you a little laughter in your grief. And those two things can be okay, and you're able to experience life. I do know at nighttime that can be a really difficult time when you're processing. I don't know that I would encourage you to surrender the whole situation with the vet, and it being inexperienced or it not being your normal vet or whatever shoulda, coulda, woulda situation, because your dog was older and lived a good life. And ultimately this likely was going to have to happen at some point. So if you can just set aside that part and not wonder what could have happened if the vet was working. And what's been helpful for me in different times of grief, especially when it's your pet. I don't know if like grieving a human is the same thing, but with my dog Josie, like honoring her in different ways or celebrating her, that was really special. Reflecting, having pictures of her. I have a sketched photo that I had done like with like a pencil artist, like
charcoal.
It's a charcoal. Yeah. It's like this really cool detailed photo of her. And I haven't hung it up yet in this house, but in our East Nashville house where she was, I need to find the right place to put it in my new house. But when she died, we had it hung up in a prominent spot. And I loved having her there with us. Like even after we got Kara, we got a new dog. It was like, well, there's Josie. It didn't match because they're like, well, that's your dog, Kara. Who's that Rottweiler up there, like in this big, beautiful frame? And I'm like, oh,
let me tell you,
that's Josie. And she was my BFF. Like she was with me through all the deployments that my husband at the time had. She was my protector. I was very, very bonded with her, even more so than Kara. But remember, Kara, I told you to close your ears. Like, I don't know that I'll ever have a relationship like I had with that dog. Like she was everything. So how can you honor your dog in that way and set up some sort of like a shrine? You
could do a shrine if you wanted.
Yeah, but
something special where it's not about forgetting, it's more about remembering, and that's a good, healthy thing. Yeah. Did your dog have a birthday? Can you still celebrate that? Light a candle? Can you write some letters? Can you journal through it? Again, journaling is not for everybody. We know that from Kat. But frame your favorite photo or have a piece of artwork done. Oh, this is what I had done. It was commissioned. That's how you say it. Oh, yeah. I commissioned someone to sketch her. And so can you do that for yourself as like a gift? Like, because that was something that was really special. And then you can have that. And then when you're going to bed at night, everybody's different, but meditations are so helpful for me to calm my mind, my looping mind. That may not work for you, but that would be a piece of advice that I have for you to try so that you can calm your mind, or say a few words to your dog. Write letters to your dog. Talk about how you miss your dog. Then I just had a really weird thought of like,
I don't know what she did with her dogs, like ashes.
Oh,
But
you
not that
have
she would
yours?
like have some people stuff their dogs. Yeah, you don't have to stuff
Yeah.
your dog and have it there. But if you cremated it, I had Josie's ashes for a while. She died in Nashville, but the house where she really was my BFF was in North Carolina. So I flew her ashes to North Carolina and spread them in that yard. Now, we still owned the house at the time that we spread it. We were renting it to somebody else. So I felt safe doing that because it was,
Did you tell them?
no, it's my house.
But were they there when you were doing it?
I don't know. It was midnight.
Oh.
I mean, I think they were.
Wait, that's amazing. You're like, you
So,
don't even know,
but-
but I'm spreading my dog's ashes in
But
here.
that was something that
Yeah.
was like, I held on to her ashes until we could get back
Yeah.
to North Carolina and go do that. And that was something that was helpful for Ben and myself and my friend that went with me. Like, we flew back to North Carolina. We were staying with my friend Sunday. And like, yeah, around 11, midnight-ish, we went and we sprinkled them in the yard. And that was really,
yeah.
that was a healing moment where it was finally, okay, this chapter is closed. So again, I don't know if you've got ashes or what you did with the body, but that might be something like, where was y'all's favorite place to go walk? Can you go sprinkle a little bit there?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is any of this helpful? You're a therapist, Kat. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I think the first thing I want to say is like the stuff with the vet and having the fill-in vet and you feeling dismissed, that does suck. Like, I think.
Oh, is it insensitive that I'm like, you need to let that go?
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't insensitive. I like the idea of surrendering because we've talked about before, when we imagine other scenarios, we always imagine them best case scenarios. And we don't know that. But I think it does suck that you didn't have your vet, because I think in general, you probably would have, the same thing could have happened and you might have felt like, oh, this makes sense. Or just because you didn't know him, he might have not had the rapport with you to really communicate well. Who knows? That part of it does sound like it sucks. And I'm saying that as like, I'm not a pet person, you know this. So I have trying to be extra sensitive just because I don't have that part of
I think
me.
that's good. I didn't want to dismiss her feelings around it, but in the grieving process, I think I guess for me, I had to play that game with my dad's surgery because something went wrong in his throat surgery when they were removing his cancer, and his quality of life was pretty much downhill after that. And the next 2 years were brutal and horrible. And I think I spent so much time, shoulda, coulda, woulda-ing if we went with a different surgeon, or if the surgeon had maybe not done a particular move that he did, or if we had gone to a different hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And that I just felt
You
like
can't
it was
play
a
that
waste of my energy when I could
accept
what was and then move on to the grieving part.
Yeah. Well, and that's where the both are true. Like, that sucks and you accepted it, and you don't know what would have happened.
Acceptance is part of grief, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the stages of grief. But with a pet, again, I assume maybe you would go through all the same stages.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's one you do need to
Put attention
to. Don't just surrender it, as I said, but hopefully you can get past that part quicker.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And I like all the stuff you said. I think when it comes to sleeping, I love the idea, if you can't get your mind off of something. One thing I know doesn't help when we're trying to get our mind off of something is to tell ourselves, like, stop thinking that. Like, that just makes it even bigger in our brain. And so to actually give attention to it and acknowledge what you're thinking. A mentor of mine a long time ago would say, imagine the thought floating down a river, and you see it in the river, and you're like, oh, hi, thought, I see you there. I'm going to let you keep going. And you just imagine it continuing to float down the river as many times as you need to do that. So even putting on like some babbling brooks or something at night. And so like you just you notice the thought like moving versus saying, stop thinking that, or saying the same thought over and over and over again.
Oh, that makes me think of something my cousin told me, Amanda, who her podcast is Soul Sessions. Y'all might see that popping up in our feed on the weekends. She has a podcast on my network. So that, if you're wondering what that is, it is her. But she once told me when I was having some looping thoughts about some stuff similar, and it was very helpful, sort of like picture a big clear bubble and put it inside the bubble and then just boop, tap the bubble away. Like you can still see it, it's there, but just gently tap,
floating.
tap, tap. until it floats away. And every
Yeah.
time you need to put it in the bubble and you just tap, or floating down the river, like whichever one works for you. But I forgot tapping the clear bubble.
It just,
helped
yeah,
me.
the visuals, I think, help. The more you try to avoid something, the bigger, louder it gets. So acknowledge it and then let it go and continue to do that. I also really like the idea of, I think you said this, listen to a meditation, like a sleeping meditation. And then you're focusing on those words as much as you can, and hopefully you do fall asleep through that.
You know who I love to recommend for that? Jason Stevenson. He does Sleep Talk Down on YouTube. They're free. Just put it on and he will talk you to sleep.
Okay, so maybe you can link a Jason Stevenson.
Jason Stevenson.
It's a nice name.
Yeah. It's got a nice accent.
Yeah, and I'll love, we're sending love to you because this does sound like 15 years. There's one part of that where it's like, oh, this dog lived a long life. And then it's like, oh, you had that dog for 15 years.
I know.
That's a big change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to wrap this part up.
Well, thanks for
sending us your question. We hope it was
trusting us.
helpful. And send us an update. I'm very curious, like if you do have ashes or not, or if you sprung for the paw print.
Oh, is that what you can either get a paw print or cremation?
No, they'll do the paw print before they cremate.
Oh.
Yeah, you can get it like in
I think we buried all of our...
I got like a little, like a plate with her paw print. Oh, you buried your... Yeah, that's what we used to do back in the day.
I remember
you just bury the dog in the
backyard.
I have Chris Hemsworth, my dog's bird that died.
Your dog's bird?
My daughter's bird. My daughter's bird that died. It's still in a box waiting to be buried in the backyard, slowly decomposing. But I ordered off of Amazon a rest in peace sign. Yeah. It's in the kitchen. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Yeah. It's
you can't miss it. It's just in the center of the kitchen.
I ordered on Amazon. You could maybe get one made for your dog, but it has like a bird on it.
Yeah.
And then I put Chris Hemsworth, April 2025 to April 2025 because it wasn't alive that long. April to May.
Somebody's like, is that a typo?
I think, yeah. I think it maybe actually says April to May.
But actually, remember, we think that maybe it was a 20-year-old bird and you were sold an old bird.
Yeah, that's right. It was either elderly or diseased. Yeah. It wasn't my fault, that's for sure. So, look into those little headstones you can get, or little rituals and ways you can honor your dog. And we're sending you love and light. Namaste.
And if you have a question, you can send it to us, heythere@feelingthingspodcast.com. And if you have a Couch Talks question, you can send us an email just for fun. But if you do have a question, put that in the subject so we can organize it and see it.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. And we hope you have the day
you need to have.
Bye.
Bye.